Hello and Grushka. On this video we're going to be removing our mass airflow sensor on a 2002 Lexus GS300, and we're going to clean it. I'm going to show you how to do that. And first thing I got to do is unplug it. So you have to push down on this connector and wiggle the thing loose. It's kind of difficult because it's a weather sealed connector. Then you're going to take a JIS type screwdriver. This is not a Phillips, it's not a posi drive, it's not a Reed Prince. Special made for Japanese cars. If you don't have them and you work on Japanese cars, you should look into getting them. So it's JIS. This is a Hosan brand. So I'm going to take the two screws loose, and we're going to remove carefully the mass airflow sensor. Just should pull straight up like that. You want to make sure you don't bump it. And it looks something like this. As the airflow flows by, it changes the temperature of this element that gets heated, and it helps the engine control unit predict how much air is flowing so it can control the air to fuel ratio. So I'm going to take it outside with a special can of cleaner. I'm going to show you that here in a second, and we'll clean it. Okay, so the only kind of spray you want to use to clean this is mass airflow sensor cleaner. You don't want to use anything else because these are very fragile. So if you look here, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but this is the side that's dirty, and the other side is very clean. So this is a common problem with these Lexus mass airflow sensors, actually most airflow sensors in general. So what you want to do is just take this can and spray it off real good. Then I'm going to let it sit for a minute, and I'm going to come spray it off again so we can make sure we get all of the materials off that have accumulated on here. I can see I've already gotten almost everything off with one spray. So I'll do a couple of sprays, then we'll come back and we'll talk about installing it. Okay, I'm ready to reinstall this mass airflow sensor. And before I do it, there's a O-ring around here, and I want to carefully lubricate it with some Krytox fluorinated grease. And what I'm going to do is put some on the end of this swab and go around it. So hold on a second, and I'll see if I can get some on there. And I'll show you how we do that. You have to be very sparing with it because you don't want to get it onto the sensor itself. So I'm going to go all the way around it, get it all lubricated, and it'll be ready to put back in. So we'll get started with putting it back in just in a second. Okay, reinstallation's pretty easy. You want to very carefully take the sensor without hitting it, put it in the same relationship it came out, and I'm going to move it around a little bit here so that O-ring can make a good lubricant seal. Okay, now you want to put the two screws in that hold it in place, and these barely get snugged up, and if you don't use a Japanese type screwdriver, then you're really very likely to damage the heads on them. They're very soft screws. So again, you want to we're just barely going to snug them in there because they don't need any torque to hold them into place. So I'm going to get that done like that, and like this. Again, barely snugging them up. And then before I finish, I'm going to do one more quick thing, and that is to take some deoxit and put some deoxit in here on both sides. That'll help make sure the electrical contact stays good. So I'm going to let that evaporate for a minute. Then I'm going to plug it in, and then we'll be finished, and that's all there is to this video. Thanks for watching. Tschüss.